Estamos aqui em San Diego, Califórnia, Veeam 2025, as grandes novidades do Veeam e do mundo da proteção de dados. Aqui do meu lado, Rasmus Haslund, ele que é um dos grandes nomes da Veeam, vai falar para a gente sobre as novidades da versão 13 que está por vir e tudo que cerca o mundo do Veeam Backup and Replication e os componentes ao redor. Rasmus, could you tell us a little bit about what are your expectations about the new version, V13, and the whole environment that surrounds VBR?
Sure, yeah, great question. I mean, 13 is going to be a huge difference. Having worked with the product over the years, we've kind of evolved from having one single box that did everything. And once we get to version 7, we kind of start scaling out. You can have multiple proxies and stuff like that. But now we're making a new big jump over to being able to do Linux on everything, right? Because for a long time we had the opportunity to do Linux proxies, Linux repos, many roles, but not everything. And now we're moving entirely over. So I think it'll be a big change, new UI as well, which always takes a little bit of getting used to. The old guys like myself, habits are difficult to kick, but I think that's going to be a huge change. And personally, I'm also very excited about the high availability feature. I know it's maybe not something that all customers will need, but it's definitely, when I did, let's say, architecture classes in the past, it's almost always a question that comes up from customers of a certain level, and you could do different things using vSphere HA and stuff like that, but it wasn't exactly the same. But now you have that application level protection. So I think for me those are the two biggest changes, but I mean, it's almost a full catalog of things to pick from.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the HA and also the virtual appliance for running Veeam on a virtual machine or even on a physical machine with the ISO will be a great change in on the game.
Absolutely, and I hope more people will consider, I mean, there's nothing wrong with running things on a virtual machine. That's what we've been doing with Windows for a long time. It was for a long time also the recommendation. But as I've seen more and more customers kind of get hit on the hypervisor level and then taking out the virtual machine that runs Veeam, it complicates recoveries. Of course, you can deploy a new backup server, but it would be a lot easier if you didn't lose the backup server. So HA, of course, can kind of alleviate that a little bit, but I hope more people will consider deploying them onto physical machines just to be able to better protect it so that you don't have that underlying. It's kind of like when people have the IPMI interface exposed, so the machine is super secure, but then you can connect and just wipe everything from underneath. It doesn't really make too much sense. So it's about thinking the whole stack through as you're building things out.
Security end to end.
Exactly.
Yeah. And the good part is also the easy way to deploy and keep it very secure with the automatic updates and the STIG, the DISA STIG security applied to this appliance and to the repository, and the whole environment can be managed by Veeam and the updates provided by Veeam.
Yeah, and I don't know if everyone kind of noticed that from the screenshots, because there's an official repository, but you may not want to have, let's say, direct internet connectivity out. So you'll be able to make a local repository as well that then connects down and pulls them, and then you can, from the local network, use that repository. But I like that. I'm sure some people will be upset about that, but I like the fact that the updates are forced after a certain amount of time, because I think no matter what we look at, like I used to work as a consultant, and anytime I would go on site, log on to servers, it would always be missing patches, be it Veeam, be it vSphere, be it Windows, whatever it might be, right? So it's just something that easily gets overlooked, or some patches failed, whatever it may be. So I think just having kind of these things that, especially for some of the smaller customers, I think it'll be a really good thing, because it just helps them get it done.
Yeah.
And by kind of running it down to yet 10 appliance, so everyone is essentially on the same base operating system, it also reduces the corner cases, right? So it's a lot easier for our QA team to test and make sure that all of these patches really will work without problems.
Definitely.
Like today, just think about how many Windows combinations that are possible, and just patch levels and service packs and things like that. And just the complexities of which database engine are you using, which version of the database engine, and so on. It's just because we're so agnostic, there's just so many options, but the appliance kind of, I don't want to say it limits your options, but it just limits what can go wrong in the updates and patches.
Yeah, you're going to have a better control over the operating system and the whole software stack inside this virtual appliance, or even the physical appliance, doesn't matter.
Exactly.
Well, Rasmus, thank you so much being with us. It was a pleasure being here and learning new features, new things, and it's always a class talking to you. Thank you so much.
Well, thanks for having me. It was a pleasure.